Good morning, students. I hope you all have seen part 1 of chapter 9, our economic system of social science. Now, let us move ahead with this part 2. Now, in this part, we will discuss about the activities that are classified on the ownership. First of all, let us see what is the question asked and think. Who increases the price of milk, sugar, gas, diesel, etc., and why? See, in this, when the price of milk and sugar they are produced in less quantity and their manufacturer increase the price. See, the price of gas and diesel they depend upon the international prices, and when the price of these commodities increase in the international market, their cost price also increases. So therefore their manufacturer increases their selling price too. The economic activities are also classified on the basis of ownership. So, which ownership? First one is government ownership, second one is private ownership, and the third one is joint sector. Let us discuss first one. The industry which are owned by the government and are run under the policies of the government are the public sector industries. For example, Bhilai Steel Plant, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, etc. See, the government owned enterprises and the public sector businesses, which are the industries that are owned by the government and they are run under government policies. They are known as public sector industries. For example, Bhilai Steel Plant, Bharat Heavy Electric Limited, Oil and Natural Gas Commissions, etc. These are government owned enterprises. And when we move ahead to the second one is private ownership. See, the industries which are owned and run by private owners are termed as private sector units. For example, Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, Reliance Torrent, Cadila, etc. See, in the privately owned enterprises or private sector businesses, they are the industries that are owned and they are run by whom? By the private owners. And they are also known as private sector industries. And in this, examples are Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, Torrent, Cadila, Alembic, etc. are the privately owned enterprises. And when we talk about joint sector, that is known as mixed enterprises, there are certain limitations to public sector unit. Generally, we find less dedication and commitment towards the work in the public sector units. And to control this and to generate a sufficient amount of required capital, the private sector unit are asked to join the public sector units. So that's why it is known as joint sector. In this, the government enjoys a greater control. Say, when we talk about the industries that are owned and they are run by both by the government and also the private owners, they are known as the joint sector, that is mixed enterprises or units, and the government has a greater hold they have on such type of units. For example, Maharashtra Scooters, GNFC, and Gujarat Alkalis, etc. And the fourth one is cooperative sector. There are many people in the country who are not economically very sound and they are not in the condition to start their own small or cottage industries, and such people make cooperative society, that is group, where they undertake the manufacturing and selling processes. And the units that are started with corporation of a group of people, they are known as cooperative sector unit. For example, dairy, sugar mill, etc. See, when we talk about cooperative sector units, so many times people of a society they come together and what they form a group which is cooperative, and they undertake the manufacturing and selling processes in this. And such units started with each other's corporation also, and that is known as cooperative sector units. For example, trade companies, dairies, sugar mills, etc. They are run on cooperative basis. So that's why they are known as cooperative sector. Classification of economic activities into organized and unorganized sector. See, these are the planned routine and not with a plan. Let us discuss with Kanta and Kamla. They have given here. Kanta works in an office from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. She gets the salary at the end of every month regularly. Apart from salary, she is eligible for benefits of pension and PPF. She also receives medical allowances and other allowances too. Kanta gets a salary for Sunday too, which is a holiday for her. She has been given the appointment letter which states the rules and regulation for job. Does the Kanta work in an organized sector? Kamla, uh, Kamal is a neighbor of Kanta, and he works on a daily wages in a grocery shop. He goes to the shop in the morning at 8 a.m. and works till 9 in the evening. He does not get any allowances apart from the daily wages. He is not paid for the day he does not go for work, and he does not get any paid holidays. He has also not received any appointment letter. His boss can tell him to leave the job at any point of time. Thus, Kamal works in an unorganized sector. See, that was about Kanta and Kamal. See, do you see any differences in the employment condition of Kamal and Kanta? Discuss. See, there is a huge difference in the employment situation when we talk about Kanta and Kamal. See, Kanta works for 8 hours per day, and while Kamal works for 13 hours per day. And beside what happened, the regular salary, when we talk about Kanta gets the benefits of government pension plan. She also gets the medical allowances and other allowances. And when we talk about Kamal, he does not get or receive any type of except daily wages. See, Kanta has a holiday on Sunday, but she gets the salary for that day also. And when we talk about Kamal, does not get the wages of the day he does not go for a work. And Kanta has been given an appointment letter also for her job, and it contains rules and conditions for the job. While Kamal has not received any kind of appointment letter, and his boss can tell him to leave the job any point of time. And when we talk about Kanta works in an organized sector, while as Kamal works in an unorganized sector. That was about the difference between the employment condition of Kanta and Kamal. Now, things to know, the government has made certain rules for the unorganized sector units. See, government has made the rules for them also unorganized sector unit, but the owner in the unorganized sector do not implement them in reality, but they don't implement in reality the sector who are there in unorganized. Now let us move ahead, that is economic liberalization. See, when we talk about economic liberalization, liberalization is what is a process, is any process whereby a state lifts restriction on some private individual activities. And liberalization occurs when something which used to be banned is no longer banned, or when government regulations are relaxed. And in this, first we will see is the economic liberalization. See, the government has brought about certain changes in the economic policies so as to maintain its pace with the developing world and make India a developed nation. In accordance, the policy of liberalization was adopted in the year 1991. According to this policy, certain regulation related to manufacturing and the trade and commerce were removed, and duties and tax relaxation on import export were announced. The process of establishing a new manufacturing unit was made simpler. As a result, India has been able to keep pace with the world in terms of production and trade and commerce. it has also generated more employment opportunities. See, when we talk about this economic liberalization. See, economic liberalization is the policy of the economic states that certain measures of control and rules should be relaxed or withdrawn gradually from the businesses that are carried out by the industries and other small units, and there should be also arrangement whereby economic decisions are taken by the market sector. And what, according to the policy of economic liberalization, is what many measures of control related to industry, businesses and other small units, they were withdrawn. The export duties were reduced, relaxation was announced on import export, and the process of getting permission to establish a new industry was made simple and easy. And see, because due to this policy of economic liberalization, India has become one with the world in the term of business and industries and businesses, as well as the employment opportunities that have also increased. So that was about economic liberalization. Now we talk about privatization. See, privatization is a transfer of a business, industries, or service from public to private ownership and control. See, after the independence, many public ventures, large manufacturing project owned by the government was started by the government of India with the passage of time. These venture made less profit and incurred loss. See, after what happened after independence, many public ventures were there. They have started by the government of India. And what happened with this, when the time passed and this venture, they made less profit and incurred loss also. So many public venture, they had to close down for this reason. They have shut down it, and this left an impact. What it left an impact on what? On the economic system, whole economic system. And the workers were there, they became united, but the industry suffered big losses. In this industry, they have suffered a loss, by the workers have become united. And on, when we talk on the other side, the emphasis on the quality increased around the world, and the private sector started making more profit. In this way, the private sector, they started making profits, and all these circumstances motivated what? Privatization. So the government started showing inclination toward private sector, and the joint sector is a part of the process of privatization. See, privatization means what? The process by which the government owned enterprises or public sector industries are handed over to whom? To the private agencies or owners. So that was about private sector. And now when we move ahead with globalization, see, globalization means the world becoming one, or the country coming closer to one another. Globalization, what it means? When they are becoming one and then they are coming to at once. See, means the world becoming one, or the nation that is coming closer to each other. And due to globalization, what happened? Any country of the world, any country of any part of the world can trade with another country easily, can have a trade very easily. And it integrates the market and production unit of various countries. And the process of growing international relationship, in this the international relationship have been growth, and the integration of market across the world is globalization. See, the unique revolution in the field of information technology has stimulated globalization. The World Trade Organization, established in the year 1995 CE, is working towards promoting and fostering globalization. See, the due to globalization, many countries of the world can have a business with the, and also the trade within other country. And the unique revolution in the field of what it happens in the information technology is stimulus behind the process of globalization. and this revolution is also known as informational technology. And the World Trade Organization, which is known as WTO, which was established in the year 1995 and is working in the direction of globalization. And this was about globalization. See, and the effect, when we talk about the effect of globalization, what are the effects of globalization? See, employment opportunities have increased in the service sector due to the advent of information technology. See, because of globalization, uh, new employment opportunities have been created in the service sector in India due to the information technology. Phone, fax, mobile, email, internet, videos, conference, etc. are some of the revolutionary tools of information technology which transfer information faster and at the low cost. This has made the economic development of the country faster. See, when we talk about phone, mobiles, emails, internet, etc., are some of the revolutionary tools of information technology which give information at the low cost and also at the high speed. See, this has led to the swift economic development of our country. The multinational companies started project in different countries which have proved to be the profitable for the host nation. For example, Ford Motors has a car manufacturing plant in India where cars are manufactured not only for India but also the big companies. See, when we talk about multinational companies that have made a joint effect with the host nations and which has led to profit for the host nation. For example, when we talk about Ford company manufacture a car not only for India but also for the other countries of the world also. See, these cars are also sold in India and exported to foreign countries. And the big companies of India have established their position in foreign market. For example, when we talk about Tata Motors, Asian Paints, Parle, etc. And the consumers get commodities at of a very good quality at a low price due to the competition. For example, China made toys have become very popular in the Indian market due to the low price and attractive designs. In 1 year, only a Chinese toys have replaced the Indian toys in 70% to 80% shop. Now, today, in the Indian markets are also cheaper than before. Do you know the reason behind this? Due to the international trade, the Chinese toys came in the Indian market and have proved to be the better than the Indian toys. And however, the Indian toys manufacturer and traders have incurred losses. So globalization at time caused loss to the cottage industries. See, due to what happened, the economic policies of globalization, there is a great competition in the world market. And as a result, what happened due to the facts that the quality of goods have been maintained, good quality product are available to customers at cheaper rate. For example, when we talk about China has flooded the Indian market with attractive toys sold at very low prices. And due to the latest designs and cheap rate, Chinese toys are selling the most in Indian markets, and thus the toys are cheaper in the Indian markets nowadays. So that was all the effects of globalization. I hope you all have understood till this chapter. Thank you for listening.